The 3 week stall after bariatric surgery. Is it real? Does it happen to everybody? Can anything be done about it? Welcome to my channel. My name is Coach Kathy Richardson, and I'm a certified weight loss coach here in Canada, and I'm also a bariatric surgery post-op. I had vertical gastric sleeve in 2021. Holy cow, we're almost 2 years post-op. Anyways, if you found yourself on this channel, chances are you're a post-op, you're a couple of weeks after surgery, and the scale has stopped, and you're probably freaking out. So first of all, let's just take a deep breath. I want you to know that you've come to the right place. And if you want to see more content about anything post-op bariatric or even to do with weight loss in general, hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now, there is absolutely something going on in your body. I just want you to know right now, you're not broken. You're not a failure. You didn't stretch your pouch out. It's not that the surgery didn't work for you. You know, this is absolutely expected, and it drives me crazy that more programs do not discuss this with their patients in advance, because this comes up all the time. I'm a member of probably 12 or 15 different Facebook support groups for post-op bariatrics and people who are pre-op and whatever. But I bet this comes up at least a dozen times a day. And guys, I'm not online all the time. Just gradually scrolling through group after group, I just keep seeing, oh my God, I'm 12 days out and the scale has frozen. And, you know, just it comes up all the time. And people are like legit panicking. Like they think that they're never going to lose any more weight. They think that they've actually stretched their pouch out by drinking too many fluids. You know, just the fear and paranoia is all over the place. So let's just shut that down and let's just talk about what's going on, because it's actually quite simple. So when you first had your surgery, you either had 70 to 80% of your entire stomach cut out of you, depending on what size bougie your surgeon used, or if you are a bypass, a SADie, or a duodenal switch patient, a DS patient, you would have had your stomach altered, although maybe not permanently, but you would have had your intestines rerouted. And guys, that's a major thing to happen to your body. So whenever we get hurt, it doesn't matter if we cut our finger or if we damage our muscles during exercising, or if we have bariatric surgery. The way our body wants to heal itself is by rushing a ton of fluid to the injured part. And that's because in that fluid is lymph and lymphocytes and leukocytes and, you know, all kinds of sciencey things we don't really need to worry about. But basically the body, instead of being like a self-cleaning oven, it's like a self-healing oven. And it is going to heal itself. And it uses fluid to do that. Now, likely if you're in the first 2 weeks of surgery, like sidebar, everybody's program's different. Every surgeon's different. So everybody's post-op progression through stages is going to be different. But the majority of us are on a liquid diet for the first 2 weeks. And that's to allow the stomach to not have to do peristalsis and have these, you know, contractions and things and try to push food through. We just want to make things nice and gentle and slippery. So we're doing some liquids. Now, even though we're drinking liquids and we're drinking our water and all of that, we're still going to be dehydrated. And that's because of ketosis. So when we woke up from surgery and we were only allowed to have liquids, the majority of what you're going to be allowed to have are going to be clear liquids like broth and maybe like severely watered down juice, or, you know, hopefully you're not drinking juice now at all after the first day or two. But a lot of Crystal Light and just different things that really don't have any caloric or carb intake. And when that happens, our body goes into what's called a state of ketosis. So our body will use up whatever glycogen, which is like stored sugar energy that we have in our liver and in our muscles, and eventually it purges it out, and it does that via fluid. And then it's going to replace as an energy source we're going to turn on ourselves and start eating ourselves and our own fat. And so with fat metabolism comes a byproduct of something called ketones. And once that conversion from sugar burner to fat burner happens, we've entered a state of ketosis. You've probably heard this before, especially if you've done every diet under the sun before having your bariatric surgery like I did. So being in a state of ketosis by default is a diuretic, because the body wants to flush out those ketones, and it's going to do it with fluid. So between your body needing extra fluid to heal itself from the massive surgery and then being in a state of ketosis, even if you are the perfect bariatric patient and you're doing everything right, you're setting that timer on your watch and you're drinking your little shot glasses of water every 15 minutes, even if you're supplementing with electrolytes, if you're doing everything right, you're still going to be dehydrated. And you probably don't care, because for the first 2 weeks, it's super fun to get on that scale. You can wake up in the morning, be down 1 pound, 2 pounds from the day before. And then sometimes you can even hop on again in the afternoon or evening, and you're still down another half a pound or another pound. And you're like, this is magic. This is exactly what I signed up for. Woo woo. I'm going to be down 100 pounds in like 20 more minutes. And then the 3-week stall happens and you're like, oh no. And that's when the panic, and that's when the fear sets in, and that's when the doubt sets in. That's when you do think you're a failure. That's when you are scared you stretched it out, but you didn't. So what's going on is usually by day 10, 12, 14, you've been allowed to enter the pureed food stage. And because that new reduced stomach size is so little, there's only so much you can fit in there. So a lot of programs allow things like mashed potato or pureed beef stew that might have some root vegetables in it, or even some grits, and not oatmeal, but maybe cream of wheat. Again, everybody's program's different, but you probably reintroduced a little bit of carbohydrates at this point. And if you do that to the point that you replace your glycogen stores, then you're not going to be rushing out all this fluid anymore, because also at the same time, your body is healing even further. And at 2 weeks out, you're not fully healed, but you're a third of the way there, and you just don't need all that fluid as much. So you start to retain it instead of flushing it all out, and things just kind of get back on an even keel a little bit. And this whole process has like majorly freaked your body out. You went from eating like a normal overweight or obese or morbidly obese person to being put on a liver shrinking diet prior to your surgery. For different people, that looks different. And then, you either had most of that organ removed or it was drastically reduced in size. And the body likes maintaining something called homeostasis. And that's where everything just stays on a nice, even keel. And it always wants to return to a state of homeostasis whenever we go in and mess things up, whether that's through diet or surgery or whatever. So after things start to stabilize a little bit, it's going to want to hang on to everything it has. And it's definitely freaking out by week 3 or 4, and you're just going to hit a pause. But especially when those glycogen stores get replaced, they hold on to water molecules too. And so it's going to look like a pause on the scale, or it may even go up a little bit. So don't blame yourself for this. This is absolutely what is supposed to happen. It's normal. It's expected. And the best part is it's a good thing. When you hit this pause and this stall and homeostasis is happening, it means the body is starting to relax. It's starting to heal. It's not needing to rush a bunch of fluid anywhere anymore, because it's healing. And it's not until you are healed that you can actually begin the very long journey, and the journey we want to be on, of true fat loss. So when this pause happens, we should be doing a woohoo and clapping and celebrating, not freaking out. But it's because you weren't told that. And so it's not your fault that you weren't told that. And it's a shame that you weren't told that. But just know, if you came here because you saw the title of this video and you wanted to know if this happens to other people too, the answer is yes, absolutely. There is the odd person that might fit in the box of, they still lost weight all 4 weeks of their first month post-op, but it's going to be pretty rare. Most people are going to pause or even see a slight gain as that transition from ketone burner back to glucogen/sugar burner happens. When that transition happens, there's more often than not going to be a pause, because at the same time, that means you're healing. So just know the stall is a good thing, and know there's nothing you can do to speed this process up. Don't be in a hurry. Your journey is just really beginning, and it's not going to mess up the rest of your journey if this doesn't happen quickly. We all heal at different times too. Some of us went into this diabetic. Diabetics by nature heal from everything slower. Some people went into this and lost a ton of weight during their pre-op. And so if you're one of those people that lost 20, 25, 30, even 35 pounds during your pre-op, you might not be a super big loser the first couple of weeks after surgery. And that's okay, because weight loss is weight loss. It doesn't matter if it happened before surgery or after. Just be glad that it happened. And, some people started this with like a super high BMI and were like really morbidly obese with BMIs of 40 and 50. And some of us, like myself, did this in the lower BMI. And, my BMI the day of surgery was 36. And I was only cleared for surgery because I had a bunch of comorbidities in addition to a BMI over 35. I had four. Actually, I had more than four. But that's another video for another time. If you want to see that, go right down to the beginning of my channel and watch how I lost 150 pounds. It's my very first video and it tells you my whole health journey. But I was one of those people that only needed a liver shrinking diet for 2 weeks. It consisted of 4 shakes a day and 2 bars, and I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. And that's pretty average. Some people lose way more than that. But again, I had lost even more weight than that on my own before even my liquid diet started. So, and I wasn't a super big loser after surgery. And it's been slow all along for me. I mean, a lot of people lose 2 and 3 pounds a week for the first few months. And I think I maybe had like 2 weeks that I actually lost 2 pounds in a week. And it was in the beginning. And if you take my weight loss and over the amount of time it's been since surgery, I've lost on average right around a pound a week. For a while, it was like 1.3 pounds, and now it's like 0.75 pounds because I've actually stabilized and I'm not losing anymore. I'm 2 years out now and I'm not losing anymore. I've been stable for about 6 months and it's awesome. My current BMI is 19.5. I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall and I weigh 132 pounds, and life is good. And I've been maintaining this for 6 months now. So just know speed in the beginning, in the middle, towards the end. Speed doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. It just matters that you get there. And you will if you do what you're told to. So what you eat at this time in puree is not going to make or break like the course of your bariatric journey. And again, there's nothing you can do to speed up this healing process. You can hinder it. Staying dehydrated so that you look like you weigh less on the scale is not the right answer. All that's going to do is really delay the inevitable, because you will heal from this. So you can do it the right way or you can do it the slow way, but you can't do it the fast way. So stay hydrated, keep your protein up. It's okay to take some electrolytes. That's always going to help you stay hydrated. You can do that through taking a supplement like Element, spelled LMNT, that you add to your water. You could drink Gatorade Zero. You can put a pinch of pink Himalayan sea salt under your tongue. You drink some dill pickle juice, keep drinking that broth. Those are all very good things, because remember, it's not just water that hydrates us, it's water plus electrolytes. That's why when you're in the hospital and you got an IV, they didn't put plain water in you, they put saline in you, because you need some salt to stay hydrated. That people think salt dries us up, but that's why you're bloated the day after you have Chinese food or soy sauce or chips or pretzels. And whenever you had really salty things and you wake up the next day and you feel bloated, it's the salt that was having you retain fluid. So a little bit is a good thing. But anyways, you can't speed it up, but you can help yourself along with staying hydrated. And just know this doesn't last forever. The weight loss is going to pick up very, very soon. And that's a very exciting time. Months 1 to months 3, or even 3, 4, is when, according to most bariatric doctors, say you're going to lose 50% of all the weight you're going to lose is going to happen within the next 3 to 4 months. So just hang in there. You didn't do anything wrong. Your surgery isn't broken. You didn't stretch out your sleeve. This is expected. And remember, it's actually a good thing. And one more thing before we go. Keep in mind, on this journey, you are going to have stalls and you are going to have pauses. And there is a difference. A pause is like a week or two when you don't lose anything. But for it to be classified as a true stall, that's going to mean no loss of pounds or inches, neither, for an entire 6 weeks. And they're going to happen too. But just know that, like, for it to be a true stall, especially in the first year, it's going to be 6 weeks or more with no loss of inches or pounds. That's why it's really important right now to start taking your measurements. And I do recommend you weigh once a day, just once. And know that that one single measurement on the scale isn't going to show you a whole lot. But what it is going to do is going to show you fluctuations. If you're a woman, it's going to show you fluctuations during your cycle. It's also going to show you how you respond to different foods. So that daily weight is just data collection. That one day doesn't actually show you anything, but over the course of a week, when you take that average, and definitely over the course of a month, when you take that average, it's going to show you the whole picture. And you can't do that without lots of data. But you don't need to do it more than once a day. Don't be a crazy head and be weighing 7 times a day. That's a very real thing. And you don't need to do that. Weigh once in the morning after you use the bathroom, and that's your data point for that day, and that's enough. So take your measurements, weigh once a day, keep your fluids in, stay hydrated, and just hang tight because it's going to get really exciting really soon. Thanks for watching.